Tottenham want Diomande now, Fabrizio Romano confirms. Spurs are preparing an aggressive January move as the board gives Thomas Frank the green light. Welcome back to Tottenham News Today channel. Fabrizio Romano has delivered a major twist in one of the most heated transfer stories of the winter, confirming that Tottenham have moved into pole position to sign RB Leipzig's explosive winger Yan Diomande. Spurs, long in the market for a natural left-sided attacker, now find themselves leading a chase involving some of Europe's strongest and most financially powerful clubs. According to Romano, Tottenham's interest is the most advanced, and the club view Diomande as a perfect fit for Thomas Frank's January rebuild. The Tottenham manager has made it abundantly clear a left winger is the absolute priority for the upcoming window, and Diomande is at the top of the internal shortlist. His devastating pace, sharper decision-making and frightening 1-versus-1 ability have transformed him into one of the Bundesliga's standout performers this season. But there's a complication, and it's a big one. Romano stresses that RB Leipzig have no intention of letting their Ivorian wonderkid walk out mid-season unless an offer arrives that forces their hand. They are pointing to his £87 million release clause as the official line of defence, warning suitors that January is not the moment for cut-price bids. However, whispers around North London suggest a very different tone behind the scenes. Tottenham insiders believe that a package closer to £60 million could be enough to tempt Leipzig into negotiations, especially if the offer is structured cleverly. Spurs know that January is traditionally a difficult window for buying elite attackers, but they also know that Leipzig have previously shown a willingness to negotiate when the price is fair and the relationship strong. Romano also confirmed that 4 major European clubs are actively monitoring Diomande and have scouted him repeatedly this season. The 19-year-old is attracting enormous attention, not only for his output, but for his maturity, mentality, and ability to dominate matches against seasoned Bundesliga defenders. Leipzig understand his value and are fully aware that a bidding war could erupt, something they would use to their advantage. Even so, Tottenham's determination is clear. Club sources insist that Spurs are preparing to spend heavily in January, and Frank is pushing for the board to act swiftly before rival clubs escalate their efforts. The belief within Hotspur Way is that the club cannot afford to let another elite wide attacker slip through their fingers, especially with the goal-scoring problems exposed throughout the first half of the campaign. With Romano openly acknowledging Spurs' lead in the race and Leipzig bracing for substantial offers, the stage is set for a January saga that could reshape Tottenham's attacking future. Spurs have just received the kind of transfer boost that sends shockwaves through the Premier League. After months of monitoring Carlos Baleba, Spurs have been told that Brighton are now ready to consider a sale, and the numbers involved have dramatically shifted in North London's favour. For weeks, it looked impossible. Brighton were standing firm on a £100 million valuation, a figure that would have smashed Tottenham's transfer structure in half. But everything changed in the last few days. According to new reports emerging from Team Talk, the Seagulls have quietly reduced their demands to around £75 million, opening the door for a deal that suddenly feels far more realistic for Fabio Paratici and the recruitment team. Why the U-turn? Sources in England suggest Baleba's form has plummeted since his failed switch to Manchester United in the summer. What was once a player brimming with confidence and swagger has turned into a young midfielder visibly struggling to recapture his rhythm. Brighton fear the situation could worsen, and with interest still alive from Spurs, they appear ready to cash in before the player's value dips any further. For Tottenham, this is an extraordinary opportunity. Thomas Frank has repeatedly stressed that the club need power, athleticism and ball-carrying ability in midfield, and Baleba fits that profile better than almost anyone his age in the Premier League. Inside the club, there's a growing belief that securing him in January would send a message across the division that Spurs are ready to build something with serious backbone. Brighton, meanwhile, are already positioning themselves for life after Baleba. Reports indicate that Aston Villa's Lamar Bogard has emerged as a top replacement option, and the Midlands club are bracing for an approach as soon as negotiations advance. Even at £75 million, the deal would obliterate Tottenham's current transfer record, the £65 million paid for Dominic Solanke just over a year ago. But the hierarchy are said to be weighing the cost against the long-term upside of bringing in a midfielder who, at his peak, looks like he could dominate games for a decade. The biggest question now circulating around Hotspur Way is simple. Is Balaba's dip a temporary lapse triggered by a messy summer? Or is it a sign of deeper inconsistencies that will follow him wherever he goes? Tottenham's scouting department believe the player's ceiling is still enormous. Others inside the club urge caution. Tottenham's chase for Bournemouth superstar Antoine Semenyo has erupted once again, and this time the noise surrounding the deal is louder than ever. The January window is fast approaching, and Spurs have moved into high gear as they weigh up triggering the winger's £65 million release clause, a figure now confirmed by several top-tier sources. The growing belief inside Hotspur Way is that Semenyo is ready-made for Thomas Frank's system. Explosive pace, relentless work rate, and a ruthless streak in the final third that Tottenham have been crying out for all season. And now a major development from the Ghana national team setup has added even more fuel to the fire. Ghana head coach Otto Addo, speaking with striking confidence, has openly stated that Semenyo is prepared to take the next step in his career, a rare and telling admission from an international manager usually cautious about transfer speculation. His words have sent Tottenham fans into a frenzy. "He's done exceptionally well at Bournemouth," Addo told The Athletic, leaving little room for interpretation. "With all due respect to Bournemouth and their progress, it is only natural for a player of his level to move forward. Whether that happens in winter or summer doesn't concern us. What matters is that he continues showing his quality to the world." Behind the scenes, Spurs have significantly intensified their efforts. Meetings, calls and early negotiations have reportedly taken place as the club attempt to position themselves ahead of a transfer battle that could involve Liverpool and at least two other Premier League giants. Tottenham's recruitment staff view Semenyo as a potentially transformative signing, someone capable of adding chaos, directness and finishing power to a front line that has been far too predictable in recent weeks. But the North London club are also wary of how quickly this pursuit could escalate. Liverpool's interest is real, and several insiders claim that Spurs have begun drawing up contingency plans scouting alternative wide forwards in case Semenyo slips through their fingers at the final moment. Even so, Tottenham know they hold something critical: the willingness to pay the £65 million clause up front, something Bournemouth would be powerless to resist. Semenyo's rise this season has been nothing short of electric. His physicality, ability to break lines, and knack for producing big moments in big games have made him one of the Premier League's most coveted attackers. And as January looms, everything points to a transfer tug-of-war that could define Tottenham's winter window. That's all for today's update. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with everything Tottenham, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Don't forget to drop a like and share this video with other Spurs fans. Together we can keep growing the Tottenham News Today community. Thanks for watching, and as always, come on you Spurs!